The Young and the Restless preview July 13th to 17th, 2026. Diane fights for her life. Jack faces a terrifying setback. And Victor's shocking announcement rocks Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that several lives will hang in the balance as the consequences of Patty Williams' latest actions spread throughout Genoa City. What began as another terrifying attempt to reach Jack Abbott could become a life-changing tragedy for Diane Jenkins Abbott, whose decision to pursue Patty through the hospital corridors may have placed her in the most dangerous position imaginable. At the same time, Jack's recovery remains fragile and unpredictable, leaving his family with an impossible decision about how much of the truth he can safely handle. Ashley Abbott will rush back to Genoa City after learning about the crisis, but her rival may force Jack to confront secrets he has been too afraid to reveal. Nikki Newman will continue struggling with uncertainty surrounding her eyesight, while Victor Newman prepares an announcement powerful enough to stun the entire city. These interconnected developments could transform personal loyalties, business alliances, and family relationships in a single dramatic episode. By the end of Friday's show, the Abbotts and Newmans may both realize that the battles they believed were coming to an end have only entered a far more dangerous phase. Diane's fate will likely become the emotional center of the episode. She had gone to the hospital believing her most important responsibility was protecting Jack, but in the chaos surrounding Patty's attempted attack, Diane became the victim instead. Patty had entered the situation carrying a syringe filled with an unidentified substance, apparently intending to use it on Jack before anyone could stop her. Diane, driven by fear and fury, chased after Patty rather than allowing her to disappear into the hospital. That decision was understandable. Patty had already caused enough suffering, and Diane could not accept the possibility that she might escape and return to Jack's room. And fortunately, the confrontation quickly became physical. As hospital security and members of the Abbott family tried to control Patty, the syringe changed hands during the struggle. Diane was stabbed with the needle that had been intended for Jack, and the mysterious substance entered her system before anyone could determine what it contained. For several seconds, Diane may appear unharmed, which could give everyone false hope. She might insist that she feels fine and attempt to continue questioning Patty, but the effects of the drug could emerge suddenly. Her breathing may become irregular, her vision could blur, and her legs may give way beneath her. Kyle Abbott could arrive just in time to see his mother collapse, transforming his relief over Jack's survival into fresh panic. Medical workers will likely rush Diane into an emergency treatment room while demanding information about the substance in the syringe. Patty may refuse to cooperate, either because she wants Diane to suffer or because she does not fully understand what Markham placed inside it. That uncertainty will make the situation even more frightening. The doctors will not simply be treating a known overdose. They will be trying to identify an unknown drug while Diane's condition deteriorates in front of them. Diane could soon slip into a coma as her body reacts to the injection, and the possibility of permanent damage may become impossible to ignore. Kyle will be devastated, especially because he may blame himself for failing to stop Patty sooner. He has spent so much time fighting to protect both of his parents that seeing Diane unconscious could finally break through the anger that has been sustaining him. Kyle may stand outside the treatment room demanding answers, only to receive cautious statements about Diane's unstable condition. Her heartbeat could fluctuate, her blood pressure might fall, and the medical team may warn that the next several hours will determine whether she survives. This crisis will also deepen Kyle's hatred of Patty. He may attempt to confront her while she is restrained, accusing her of destroying his family and demanding to know exactly what was in the syringe. Patty, however, could use Diane's condition as leverage. Instead of confessing, she may respond with disturbing satisfaction, making it clear that Diane's life now depends on Jack's silence. Patty has always been emotionally fixated on Jack, and even after being captured, she may still believe she can control him. If Jack publicly identifies her as his attacker or reveals everything he knows about her connection to Markham, Patty could threaten to withhold crucial information about the drug. She may claim that only she knows how to reverse its effects. Even if that is not entirely true, the threat alone would place the Abbotts in an unbearable position. They would want Patty prosecuted, but exposing her immediately could appear to risk Diane's life. Patty may believe she has finally created the perfect trap. Jack can tell the truth and possibly lose Diane, or remain silent and allow Patty and Markham's secrets to remain hidden. Jack, meanwhile, will continue his fragile recovery in another part of the same hospital, unaware that Diane is fighting for her life only a short distance away. When he wakes, he will likely feel disoriented and weak, struggling to separate his fragmented memories from the confusion created by medication and trauma. His first instinct may be to ask for Diane and Kyle. Since neither of them is beside him, their absence will immediately make him suspicious. Jack knows his family well enough to understand that Diane would not voluntarily leave him during such a critical moment. Tracy Abbott may be the person forced to remain at his bedside, attempting to reassure him while hiding the panic she feels. She could explain that Kyle is speaking with the doctors and that Diane had to step away, but Jack may sense that she is avoiding the real answer. His recovery is too unstable for another emotional shock, and the doctors may have already warned the family that severe stress could cause complications. Jack's blood pressure, heart rhythm, and neurological responses could still be unpredictable after everything he has endured. Telling him that Diane was poisoned while trying to protect him might trigger a devastating setback. However, keeping the truth from him may be equally dangerous. Jack could attempt to leave the bed, insist on seeing Diane, or become increasingly agitated as he realizes everyone is lying. Tracy will therefore face a painful decision. She can protect Jack physically by withholding the truth, or respect his right to know what is happening to his wife. Neither choice offers any real sense of safety. The situation becomes even more complicated because Jack may already know that Patty intends to use Diane against him. Before Diane collapsed, Patty could have delivered a warning directly or indirectly, making it clear that Jack's cooperation is now the price of Diane's survival. Jack may remember enough of Patty's words to understand the threat, but he could hesitate to tell anyone. His silence would not come from weakness. It would come from terror that one careless statement might cost Diane her life. When Tracy questions him about the attack, Jack may insist that his memory remains unclear, even though certain details have returned. He could deny remembering Patty holding the syringe or refuse to discuss Markham's involvement. Tracy, who knows her brother better than almost anyone, may realize that Jack is not confused at all. He is hiding something. She may gently press him to explain, but Jack's emotional state could deteriorate as the pressure builds. He has already survived a violent attack, major medical treatment, and the fear that his family remains in danger. Discovering that Diane has now been poisoned because she tried to protect him could overwhelm his weakened body. His monitors may begin sounding as his pulse rises, forcing the medical staff to intervene before Tracy can learn the truth. The setback could range from a dangerous spike in blood pressure to another cardiac episode, leaving the family terrified that Jack's progress has suddenly reversed. Just as it appears he is finally strong enough to help expose Patty and Markham, his condition may once again silence him. Ashley Abbott's return will add another emotional force to the crisis. After receiving alarming news about Jack, Ashley will rush to the hospital, prepared to demand answers from everyone involved. She may expect to find Jack recovering peacefully, only to discover that Diane has been injected. Kyle is overwhelmed, and Tracy is struggling to hold the family together. Ashley's first reaction will likely be anger. She will want to know how Patty managed to enter the hospital with a syringe, why security failed to stop her, and why Markham remains free. Ashley has never been someone who accepts vague explanations when her family is threatened, and she may immediately suspect that the hospital attack was not an isolated act. The substance in the syringe, the timing of Patty's appearance, and Markham's disappearance could all suggest a coordinated plan. Ashley may believe Patty was instructed to silence Jack before he could identify Markham. Diane's intervention prevented Jack from receiving the injection, but it may also have given Markham exactly what he needed, another vulnerable Abbott who could be used as leverage. Ashley could begin connecting these details faster than anyone expects, placing her on a direct path toward the truth Jack is attempting to hide. When Ashley finally enters Jack's room, their reunion may be deeply emotional. She will be relieved to see him awake, but Jack's appearance will remind her how close the family came to losing him. Ashley may take his hand and promise that he is no longer facing Patty alone, yet Jack's questions about Diane will quickly destroy any sense of calm. Ashley is less likely than Tracy to maintain a comforting lie, especially if she believes Jack needs to understand the seriousness of the situation. She may tell him that Diane was injured but avoid revealing the full extent of her condition. Jack, recognizing Ashley's guarded expression, could demand the complete truth. When he learns that Diane may be in a coma, his fear will become impossible to conceal. Ashley may then notice something unexpected in his reaction. Instead of asking how the accident happened, Jack might immediately ask whether Patty has spoken to anyone or whether she revealed what was in the syringe. That question would expose the fact that he knows more than he has admitted. Ashley could confront him, demanding to know whether Patty threatened him. Jack may try to deny it, but Ashley will not easily accept the denial. She could remind him that protecting Diane does not mean surrendering to Patty's manipulation. If Patty and Markham are working together, remaining silent will only give them more power. Jack, however, may argue that Diane does not have time for a complicated investigation. If Patty possesses information that can save her, then Jack will do whatever is necessary to keep her alive, even if it means temporarily withholding the truth. This disagreement could create a powerful conflict between Jack and Ashley. Both of them want to protect Diane and the entire Abbott family, but they may choose completely different methods. Jack will focus on the immediate threat to Diane's life, while Ashley will see the broader danger of allowing Patty and Markham to dictate their actions. Ashley may warn that Patty cannot be trusted to honor any bargain. Even if Jack remains silent, Patty might still refuse to reveal the substance or deliberately provide false information. Markham, meanwhile, could use the delay to destroy evidence and leave Genoa City. Ashley may believe the only way to save Diane is to expose the entire conspiracy and force Patty to cooperate through legal pressure. Jack could accuse Ashley of gambling with Diane's life, while Ashley could accuse Jack of allowing fear to cloud his judgment. Their argument may be interrupted by another warning from the medical team that Jack must remain calm. Nevertheless, the conflict will reveal how much pressure the Abbotts are under. Their usual loyalty is being tested by panic, grief, and the possibility that any decision could lead to irreversible consequences. Elsewhere, Nikki Newman's struggle with her eyesight will continue to weigh heavily on the Newman family. Her bandages are expected to remain in place for 2 weeks, but soap opera time rarely moves according to the real-world calendar. Friday's episode could bring an early examination or a tentative attempt to determine whether Nikki has regained any vision. Victor will remain beside her, outwardly confident but privately terrified that she may never see again. Nikki may try to prepare herself for the possibility of permanent blindness, but the uncertainty will be emotionally exhausting. She has endured countless crises throughout her life, yet losing her independence may frighten her in a completely different way. She may worry about becoming dependent on Victor, Victoria, or other members of the family. She could also fear that her enemies will view her condition as a weakness. Victor will insist that she is stronger than any medical diagnosis, but his reassurance may not be enough to erase her doubts. When the bandages are loosened or removed, Nikki may initially see only shadows and distorted light. That limited improvement could be encouraging to the doctors while still feeling devastating to her. She may have expected a dramatic return of her sight, only to discover that recovery will be slow and uncertain. However, Nikki's impaired vision could eventually become the unexpected key to exposing Matt Clark. Although she may not be able to see him clearly, she could recognize details that others overlook: the sound of his voice, the rhythm of his footsteps, a familiar phrase, or even the scent of something associated with him. Matt may believe Nikki's condition makes her powerless, but the opposite could prove true. Without relying entirely on sight, she may become more sensitive to the inconsistencies surrounding him. Friday's episode could offer the first subtle clue. Nikki may hear a voice in the hallway or sense someone standing near her room, only for Victor to dismiss it as confusion caused by medication. She could insist that the presence felt familiar, planting the foundation for a future revelation. Matt's confidence may grow because Nikki cannot visually identify him, but his arrogance could eventually cause him to make a mistake. Nikki will probably regain her sight one day, though the process should not happen immediately. A gradual recovery would create greater tension and allow her to quietly gather clues while everyone believes she is incapable of exposing the truth. When she finally sees Matt clearly, the confrontation could become one of the most explosive moments of the storyline. Victor Newman's shocking announcement may initially appear connected to Nikki's medical condition, but it could also have major business and family consequences. Victor has never been a man who makes important announcements without a strategic purpose. If he calls the Newman family together, everyone will immediately suspect that he is preparing to change the leadership of Newman Enterprises, reorganize the company, or make a decision about his future. Nikki's condition may have forced Victor to reconsider his priorities. He could announce that he is temporarily stepping away from certain business responsibilities to focus on her recovery, stunning those who believed nothing could ever separate Victor from his empire. Such a decision would create an immediate power vacuum, testing alliances among his children and opening the door for rivals to challenge the Newman family. Alternatively, Victor may announce that he has obtained information connected to Markham, Patty, or the danger surrounding the Abbotts. Jack and Victor have spent decades as enemies, but a threat capable of reaching both families could force them into an unexpected alliance. Victor may reveal that he is using Newman resources to locate Markham, either because Nikki's situation has made him more aware of how vulnerable their families have become or because Markham's activities threaten Genoa City on a larger scale. Another possibility is that Victor's announcement concerns a major restructuring designed to protect Nikki and the Newman legacy. He could name a temporary successor, transfer power, or reveal a partnership that no one anticipated. Whatever he announces, the decision will likely divide the family. Some will view it as necessary, while others may believe Victor is making an emotional choice under the pressure of Nikki's health crisis. Existing alliances could fracture as each person considers how the announcement affects their position. Victor may insist that the decision is final, but Genoa City has never accepted sudden changes without resistance. His announcement could also indirectly affect the Abbotts. If Victor offers assistance to Jack, Ashley may question his motives, while Kyle may be willing to accept any resource that could help save Diane. Jack himself could be too weak to participate in the decision, leaving Ashley and Tracy to negotiate with a man the Abbotts have distrusted for years. The crisis may therefore create a surprising alliance between Victor and the Abbott family, but that alliance will be tested almost immediately by suspicion and old grudges. As emotions rise throughout the hospital, every relationship will be placed under pressure. Kyle could lash out at Ashley for questioning Jack while Diane remains unconscious. Ashley may defend herself by arguing that the truth is the only thing capable of saving them. Tracy will attempt to keep the family united, but even her patience could begin to collapse under the weight of so many simultaneous emergencies. Victor may arrive with his own plan, forcing the Abbotts to decide whether accepting his help is worth the risk. Nikki, isolated by her limited vision, may sense that Victor is hiding part of his announcement from her. Patty will remain in custody, but she could continue controlling the situation through threats and carefully chosen statements. Markham's absence will make him more frightening because no one knows where he is or what he is planning. He could be watching the hospital, communicating with Patty through an unknown accomplice, or preparing to retrieve the syringe before the medical team identifies its contents. The fact that the drug was originally intended for Jack suggests that Markham may have selected it for a specific purpose. It might not be a simple poison. It could cause memory loss, paralysis, organ failure, or symptoms that resemble a natural medical complication. If the doctors cannot identify it quickly, Diane's coma may deepen while every potential treatment carries additional risks. The episode's final moments could bring the shocking cliffhanger that sets up explosive consequences. After hours of instability, Diane may briefly respond to treatment, giving Kyle hope that she is beginning to wake. Her fingers could move, or her heart rate might improve, prompting the doctors to believe the immediate crisis has passed. At the same time, Jack could become strong enough to tell Ashley the truth about Patty's threat. He may whisper that Patty was not acting alone and that Markham planned the hospital attack. Ashley could immediately contact the authorities, believing they finally have enough information to expose him. However, before Jack can provide the crucial detail about Markham's location or identity, his monitors may suddenly sound. The stress of Diane's condition and Patty's coercion could trigger another medical emergency, leaving Jack unable to finish his confession. Then, just as Kyle stands beside Diane's bed believing she might survive, her condition could suddenly worsen. The medical team may discover that the substance in the syringe has a delayed secondary effect. Diane's heart rhythm could become dangerously unstable, forcing everyone out of the room while the doctors begin emergency measures. Kyle will watch through the glass, terrified that his mother is slipping away. Across the hospital, Ashley may receive a message from an unknown number containing only a few chilling words. Jack should have remained silent. At nearly the same moment, Victor will gather his family and deliver the announcement no one expected, one that could change control of Newman Enterprises, alter his relationship with the Abbotts, and launch a coordinated effort to hunt down the person responsible for the chaos. Yet the most disturbing revelation may come from Nikki. Unable to see clearly, she will hear someone quietly enter her room after Victor leaves. Believing it is a nurse, Nikki may begin speaking, only to freeze when the stranger answers. The voice will trigger a memory she cannot ignore. She may reach toward the figure and whisper Matt Clark's name, proving that her instincts remain sharper than anyone realized. Before she can call for help, the stranger may step closer and warn her that regaining her sight would be the most dangerous thing she could do. Friday's episode could therefore end with 3 lives in immediate danger. Diane may be sinking deeper into a medically induced darkness. Jack may suffer another devastating setback before exposing Markham. And Nikki may find herself alone with the man she is destined to unmask. Victor's announcement will shake Genoa City, but it may also provoke enemies who were waiting for the Newman and Abbott families to become vulnerable. With Patty using Diane's life to control Jack, Ashley determined to uncover the truth, Kyle approaching his breaking point, and Markham still operating from the shadows. The conflict is no longer about one attack or one family. It has become a battle for survival, and the next person to reveal the truth may also become the next target.